Hello my friends, welcome to this draw. Welcome to another skincare inventory. I'm filming in the afternoon, so there's a bit of shadow. Today we're going to tackle a relatively easy category. We are going through my concealers. I have mainly all of my concealer just in this one drawer, and there are a couple like potted ones over here, and I do have a couple on my skincare vanity, my makeup drawers. We're going to grab them and I'll see you there. So here is all the concealers. I did take out one, just a mixer of my foundation. This is like foundation mixer, that's the word. So I don't need this in this category, so I'll just put it aside. And here is everything. There's quite a lot. I'll have a look into my inventory. I'll tell you the numbers. I'm sure there are probably like at least 2 concealers are floating elsewhere. One is at my partner's place, one is at my mom's house, but this is the majority that we can go through. My idea will be if I can keep everything in this drawer, I am happy. I know that's still a lot, but I'm happy this way. So I only need to work through a few, and that's my first goal. All right, let's go through the things I'm definitely keeping. I'm definitely keeping the 4 high-end one. Oh, I think I have one more high-end. Oh, I do have a high-end Marc Jacobs one floating somewhere as well, so I'm keeping that one too. First, we have the Lancome All Over Concealer. I've got in the shade Ivory, I believe. This is a multitasking concealer with beautiful coverage. It's very beautiful. And the shade that I got is quite light for me. So I'm mainly using it for lightening, highlight point or mixer or under the eye areas. Not more of a coverage. It does have it, but more for brightening for my skin. This is a great one. I do want to repurchase my color one so I can use it as a concealer purpose, concealing and cover spots purpose concealer in my collection later down in the track. And then we have 2 It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Anti-Aging Waterproof Concealer. I've got one in the shade medium, one in the shade tan. I bought this 2 particular shade following a Chinese artist, and she was teaching people how to get rid of the under eye circles, how to brightening it, how to mix it, how to layer it. Well, over the time and after all these years me doing makeup for myself, I realized I don't need to. But I do have to say, tan is more good to give you a false darkness, and then if you brighten up a little bit, do a layer underneath, it does make everything look a bit better. I love the formula, it's brilliant, so definitely a keep. I do have their hydrating one that I found as I'm aging. My under eye area is getting more dry, so I'll tend towards that particular one. But in my 20s, I used to love this to death, and each one of this give you 8 ml, and I've been using since. All you need a tiny dot, and I have to say probably half bottle of each of these, so it lasts you a long time. Don't feel like they're too expensive, it's worth the money. Then the next one I'm keeping is the Makeup Forever one. This is their Matte Velvet Skin. It's another high coverage multi-use concealer. I've got in the shade 2.2. This for me is again a mixture. Sometimes I mix with my foundation to give a better coverage. It's a little bit on the yellowy side, so this kind of like the tan color from the It Cosmetics. Not the same color, but the same purpose. I don't like this concealer to use just by itself. It's a little bit dry, but it's really good to mix and to work into other concealers to lighten up the fluidity. So I don't want to repurchase that because it's just not all one in all, but I've got it, so I'm gonna use it up. I've also got this mini Tarte concealer. This is their Chrysalis concealer. Because this was so popular, so I purchased this on purpose. I've got in the shade 20N. The reason why I want to purchase this is because I have the Emco Beauty Instant Concealer, and this is a dupe of the Tarte one. Actually, at the time, a lot of people, a lot of brand, a lot of products are duping or trying to re-replicate or inspired by the Tarte Chrysalis one because it's so full coverage and so good. So I bought the Emco Beauty to try along with the Tarte just to see. I think the Emco Beauty is better in terms of fluidities, but obviously not much of coverage. This is still heavy in coverage, but you have to be very careful with the amount that you use. That's the problem with concealer. High coverage means crease and dry. Lighter coverage is better fluidity, but less coverage to give as you desire. So I feel like the Tarte one is easy to work if you know how much you need. Emco Beauty is easy to use as a beginner, and over time, as you're more precise with the way how you do your makeup, you can upgrade it to the Tarte one. I do feel like the e.l.f. ones, they're also duping the or inspired by the Tarte concealer. One is their 60-hour Camel Concealer, and this shade is obviously too light. I went online and picked the shade. It's light peach. I want a peach color but not too dark, and this is way too light. Then when they came out with their hydrating Camel Concealer with satin finish, I learned my lesson. I do light beige, but I think it's too beige. It's a little bit too yellow. So I actually been just mixing the two concealers every time when I use it because none of this is my correct shade. Out of the two, I like the hydrating one slightly better than the Camel Concealer. I feel like maybe because this doe foot is really big from a full size, it's hard for me to control the amount compared to the Tarte one. This is a mini size, travel size, so the doe foot is much thinner, so it's easy for me to use. But I think they're all coming from the same idea, which I enjoy, I will keep. I've also got this Revlon Conceal and Define Concealer C65. I don't remember if I purchased this myself or it could come from a beauty box. This shade is actually not too bad now looking at it. So I can't remember. It smells okay. I'm gonna try to use it and see how I feel. This is gonna be in my chopping block just to see how I feel about the product. Putting it aside. All right, the Australia's, this is their Fresh and Flawless Concealer. This is before they changed their packaging. So they have new packaging now. I have in the shade Light. I absolutely love this one. You can see I've used much of it. For the price, for the coverage, and for the longevity it creates, I enjoy this, and also supporting Australian brand. I do found the Essence ones, oopsie. The Essence ones are kind of similar, and you can tell I've used more from the Essence. One of them came out first, I purchased it, and then when they came out with more shades, I got one more. I got a feeling Light Rose is a new shade at the time in Australia. I know in all the other countries they came out pretty fast, we're just pretty delayed, and now they're all done to the minimum. I really should put one into my project pan next year to use it, to finish it up. Each of this is giving me 5 ml, so it's a big bottle but less product than a cosmetics one, but I really should finish them up. I'll see what's my 2026 project pan plans, and then I'll work in these into my rotation and hopefully finished it. But I was gonna say, if you don't live in Australia, you can't get Australia's, you want something similar, the Essence is really affordable too, more affordable than Australia's. But if you're going for Australian brand, then this is the option. Then I have this completely new, the Australia's Bright Eyes Illuminating Under Eye Concealer. I've used up a full size of their banana one, so I bought those two at the same time, I feel like. So I haven't opened this one. Let me put this aside and try it. Another one that I didn't open, and I just realized today, is this K-Beauty one that I got from the advent calendar. This is the Skin Food Salmon Dark Circle Concealer Cream. So this is similar to the Pixie one, which I bought based on recommendation. So it's their Awakening Apricot Correcting Concentrate. You use it as this one is a little bit dry, but it's one of those really rich salmon color, that you can use it under your eye to brighten up, and then you can conceal. It's like a color corrector, that's the word. I wanted to try this because it's brand new, so let me put this aside, and I will need to use this again just to see if it's still working. If it's too dry, then I can get rid of it. Speaking of color corrector, I do have a couple here from NYX. This is their advent calendar that I opened 1 year with you guys. I have a green one, and I have a really yellow one, and then I have a really beige one, peachy color. The green one is definitely a keep. This is something I know I can use. I haven't had really red pimples recently, which is good, but I want to have something like this in my collection. Oops, sorry. These two. The yellow one, I'm not quite sure. I mean, the glow one, I get it. So I'm gonna try the yellow, see how that works in my collection, and then maybe get rid of it. Some classic concealers from Maybelline. I have the Instant Age Rewind Corrector Multi-Use Concealer. This was in my project pen, so I don't know if I focused just in. This actually was in my project pen a couple years ago, and then I never finished from here onwards. I used to do makeup every day, and on the weekdays, concealer is usually my foundation, so I go through this a lot. I really need to pull this out again. This is so good. I've got in the shade Light 120. I still love this. Then I have this Fit Me Maybelline concealer. Okay, so the story of this, I know this shade is really dark. It's a 25 medium beige. No, 25 medium Moyen. Okay, another Chinese YouTuber that I follow when I was younger, she used all different shades of the Maybelline Fit Me concealer to create a really sculpted facial look that it's kind of like including conceal and brightening, all that sort of part, just using different colors of the concealer. I'm like, oh my god, I need this. So I bought a darker color. I do have shade 20 Sand, that's in my mom's house. That is my concealer foundation on the go. So I'll keep this for now, and then in my second rotation, maybe I'll try to see if it'll continue to stay in my collection. There's one more Maybelline that I'm pretty sure I got it either from like a mystery box or like a advent calendar, something like that. It's the Master Concealer by Face Studio. It's the same shade as the other one from Maybelline, and this is actually brand new, but I think I've tried it maybe. No, I'm not even tried. I just opened it, undone the seal. So alright, gotta have to try this one and the Maybelline one. I'm gonna see if I like this. This is gonna in my chopping block pile. Okay, so this will go back for now. Speaking of something I've never used, I've got 3 over here. These 2 are coming from the brand W7 Nice Touch Concealer. These 2 were in one of their mystery bags that I purchased, and they came with a lot of things in that bag, and a lot of things I don't really like. I kept these 2 because they smell okay, and this shade is a nice shade. This is in the shade Vanilla, and then they've also got a natural for me. This is actually a pretty good shade match as well as a concealer foundation type of product. So I'm keeping these, one for brightening, one for all over the face purpose, but I haven't used this. I got this late last year. Then this is the Korean brand The Sam Cover Perfection Ideal Concealer Duo, and this one actually got SPF, which I don't think the SPF is working anymore. It's a stick along with a liquid concealer. This is a great idea and I love it, because you never know when you want a stick format and when you want a liquid. Trust me, sometimes the cream sticky sort of texture is working really good to cover certain really heavy things. So I'm gonna keep this, and try to use it in 2026. My goal is to definitely start using these never used ones. I'm not putting into my chopping block project at the moment because I have a couple to work on. Then the one that are currently in my 2025 makeup project pen is the Revlon Candid Photo Ready Concealer. This is in the shade 025 Yellow or something, Creme Brulee. I love this. It's a little bit yellow, but when I have a slightly lighter shade foundation, I can just mix this with the foundation. So this is something I'm gonna keep, and by the end of the makeup project pen, I'm gonna make a decision, but it's most likely a keep. However, the other one from the Balm, this is the Time Balm Concealer. I've got in the shade light medium. I actually wanted to purchase more, but it was discontinued from Target here in Australia, and you can see over the years it's cracked around the edges, and I don't know if you can tell here, the actual concealer is cracking, so it's dried out. If you press in the center, which is what I'm doing now, you still get product and they're still not dried, but around the edges and outside, it's definitely drying. So just the very center part of the concealer is still working. So I'm still using it on and off. Spoiler alert, I have already achieved the goal of my project pen 30 usage for this particular concealer, but I'm gonna get rid of it by the end of the year because the packaging is cracking, the stuff is drying. There's no point me hanging on to it, but I'll keep it for now. Another one from W7 is the Compact. This is Hide and Seek. We have 2 concealers and a highlighter and 1 corrector. I have used it once or twice before. I don't think it's my favorite format, so I'm gonna put this into my chopping block just to see if I want to continue use it, keep in my collection, or get rid of it. Another one, this is a Chinese brand. This is the Perfect Amy. This is the brand. Perfect Cover Skin Perfecting Revitalizer. It's just a concealer palette. So we have 3 shades, a pink, a yellow, and a salmon. I like the idea you can mix them into the false little empty pan there. From my memory, it's working okay, so I'm gonna keep it for now. It was for a while, Amy as a brand was really like most affordable Chinese brand that you don't have to buy luxury ones, and then they kind of just disappeared. It's still there, but no one's start to talk about it anymore. The last palette here is the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Full Coverage Long Wear Concealer Palette. I don't think I've used this. I think I swatched it, but not used. I'm really intrigued to try the lavender and also just to see how I can mix this. For this particular palette, where I would prefer if they have an empty space for me to mix. I mean, obviously I can mix it here, but it will just make it dirty. But I would like how Amy brand did with the other concealer palette. They have a little section for me to actually do the mixer. That would be great. But I'm gonna keep this one for now, and once I finish out, once I figure out how I want to use with the W7, I might rotate this one in and then keep trying. Okay, 2 pots left here, both from the brand Essence. This is their Soft Touch Mousse Concealer. Oh, the hype of this one in early 2010, that was above and beyond in my world. I have 2 shades. One is, they don't have the shade name at the back, they have it on the top. One is 10 Soft Beige, one is 20 Soft Sand. I don't know if I have the cap correctly, because what I used to do, looks like it's a bit dry. Alright, I just repressed it, and I think 2026 will be my last year to try to use these 2, so I might need to try to finish this. Oh, where's my focus? Here. By the end of the year, because they both look like a little bit, they both look like a little bit dry, but not 100% dried out. And when I was trying to do a bit of conceal on the back of my hand, it's amazing. So I think the lighter color is Soft Beige, and the slightly darker one is Soft Sand. These 2 are gonna into my chopping block for 2026. Gosh, I have a lot of like potted concealers to use, and they're hard to finish because each one of this is 5 grams. This is the designer brand Easy on the Eye Brightening Concealer. I don't like the design of this. So you have this kind of like silver metal wand to apply onto the eyes, I believe, under the eyes. I usually just squeeze it onto my hand, and I've got it in the shade Fair. It's not my favorite, but I don't have this for long, so I'm gonna keep it for maybe a year or two. If I can get some usage out of it, that would be great. I've also got this pen type of concealer. It was very popular because YSL had it to start with. I have in the shade 2 from YSL. I've used it a couple times. This is one that I used to think, oh my god. Now I'm like, yeah, it's okay. But I really should use it up because it's expensive and I purchased myself. But I actually quite enjoy the e.l.f. one. The e.l.f. one is called Flawless Brightening Concealer. This was coming from the recommendation by Jessica Brown. I did a video trying all of her favorite concealers, and this was in there. This works much better. It's the same type, but I think the actual content in here is, I couldn't say it's much better than YSL, but it's almost similar. It's similar enough that I wouldn't spend that much of money to buy YSL, if that makes sense. So I'm keeping both of these. And the last two are the Rimmel concealers. One is in the shade Wake Me Up Anti-Fatigue Skin Brightening Concealer with Vitamin C. I have in the shade Soft Beige. Okay, in my early years, I always buy really dark shades and I don't know why. Yep, it looks a bit too peachy. I might keep this one out in my shopping blog just to see if the shade is actually workable. If it's not, then I need to get rid of this. The last one on the list is another Rimmel one. This is their Match Perfection 2-in-1 Concealer and Highlighter in the shade 040 Soft Beige. Soft Beige again, there you go. I feel like this one was actually working a lot better, although it still have the pinky shade. But for some reason, maybe because it has illuminating purpose in there, it's not that dark. It's actually quite glowing, and that works better in my preference. I don't know. Was my skin used to be darker than what I'm now? Maybe a little bit, but not too much. So let me just bring you. Here is the container, and here are concealers rolling. I'm keeping all these in, and they're falling. I'm gonna do this so I can use this to stop it. It's like a divider. Happy with everything in here. I know this concealer is still in my project pan, so I can get some more use out of it. I also know this one will be out of my collection by the end of the year, and hopefully out of the 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 concealers, I'll only keep half. These two will be done by the end of 2026, and I'll definitely wanted to keep this for now. Not quite sure about this one. Maybe this one by 2026. Not quite sure about this one, and really not quite sure about these. Okay, so that's what we're looking at with my concealers. Let's put everything back and we take it from there. Now I have another look. I've actually wiggled a bit of room. I was able to put everything all back in here. What I did is to use these two palettes as a divider, and everything forward will be what I want to pick first, including this palette, and then I can work around here. Obviously at the back there are a couple that are almost finished, so I'm hoping I can do that. Alright, looking like it next time we're going to tackle the foundation, but I'm really scared because there's this box here, and then this area, and I also have cushion foundation. However, if you look on this drawer, these are my foundations, cushion foundation. We could potentially work on my powders. I only have these many setting powders. These used to be full, and now I have these areas with some of my powders and also mixed with my face palettes, and here are some of my face palettes. So I think if I'm not committed enough to myself to work on the foundation, we're gonna go through the powders. So I'll see you in my next video, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to give me a like, consider subscribe, and do all the YouTube things. I'll see you guys in the next video.